Let's make Afnan great again. Hey guys, I'm George, the nice medic gentleman, and it's time for your dose of some fragrance content. Today I'll talk about one of the hot new releases from the brand of Afnan, which is called Historic Sahara. Now, why I chose to do this intro? Because the last few releases from the brand of Afnan, although good, weren't really that impressive for me personally. But I think that's about to change because I really like Historic Sahara. And today I'm going to tell you why I like this one a lot. As usual, let's take a quick look at the packaging and the presentation. The packaging and the presentation, in fact, is almost exactly the same as you'll find with the other fragrances from this mini line that's called Historic. For example, here I have Historical Maida, which is an interesting blue scent that has scent-wise nothing to do in common with Historic Sahara, but the bottle design is exactly the same. It looks like a sort of a piece of Greek, old Greek architecture, in my opinion. I think that's the design they are trying to achieve. The box is in this sort of a brownish color that's very similar to the original fragrance, which serves as an inspiration for Historic Sahara. On the front you get the name of the fragrance, you get the concentration EDP, the bottle size, which is 100 milliliters. An interesting touch that Afnan have added to the whole presentation is the fact that now the edges of the two pieces of the box have magnets on them, and so this is a nice, really nice touch. For some reason, I like pressurized sprayers and I like magnets when they're used as part of the presentation. And again, this is the bottle design. The cap is plastic, looks huge, but it's kind of light in hand. But at least you get a secure click. And also, the sprayer is a little bit on the weak side, I would say. And now, let's talk about the actual scent of Historic Sahara. I'm going to waste a few sprays on my arm because I've already been wearing this one throughout the day, and in fact I've been wearing this exclusively throughout this past week or so since I got the fragrance itself. And this one smells a lot like Parfum de Marly's Althair, for those who are not yet aware what this is cloning. And this is a fantastic clone of Althair. Now, at this point in time, we have so many good clones of Althair that it's really hard to sort of justify yet another clone. But I can tell you that this is one of the very, very best clones of Althair that you can get right now. The opening is very similar to Althair. You'll get some of the florals, you'll get the cinnamon, you'll get a bit of the cardamom, you'll get lots and lots of the vanilla note that you'll find with the original fragrance. But this one feels a tiny little bit different in the opening because, for an example, I think there's a bergamot note in here, which combined with the cinnamon, with the cardamom, and the way that the vanilla comes across, this feels ever so slightly fresher than Althair itself and a little bit more spicy, slightly sharper overall. The way that the bergamot note is used along with the other notes just comes across a little bit sharper. It doesn't add so much freshness to the opening as it adds a bit of sharpness, but sharpness in a good way. But keep in mind that this difference is only noticeable very, very close on your skin. In the air, this smells pretty much identical to Althair. On the dry down, this becomes very vanillic. There's lots of ambroxan, there's some musks, there's some woods, and there's also a bit of tonka bean. Maybe that's another way that this feels a little bit different up close on the dry down, is that this feels a little bit more powdery than Althair itself, which feels a little bit more vanillic. Overall, I would say that this maybe feels a little bit more complex as a scent compared to Althair in a good way. Just adds a bit of a complexity, like adds an additional layer to the scent profile because of that freshness and slight sort of a spicy sharpness that you get in this fragrance. But again, I'm talking about sharpness in a good way, not in a bad way. Overall, this is a fantastic clone of Althair, and again, as I said, one of the very, very best clones of Althair that you can get. The next thing that I want to talk about, of course, will be performance, and again, here I have to say only good words. Althair, for example, the original on my skin lasts somewhere between 8 to 9 hours. It's a good performing scent without being overly beastly, and the Historic Sahara actually gives me a very similar performance straight out of the box as I get out of my bottle of Althair, meaning that I get a total longevity of somewhere between 8.5 to 9 hours. So performance-wise, this is as good of a performer as the original fragrance, and in my experience, this is a little bit better projecting than Althair because of that slightly, more ramped up spiciness in the opening, that slight sharpness that this one has. Just like Liquid Brune, this is a little bit better projecting than the original fragrance. So performance-wise, this is a strong, very good, strong performing scent straight out of the box. I've had this fragrance for about 10 days now, so it's not gone through a full cycle of maturation, maceration, whatever you want to call it. Straight out of the box, this was a good performing fragrance. Price wise, I personally got it off Notiono as soon as it showed up on their website. I got it on a slight sale, and I paid I think around about 35 euros to get it. The regular price for this one is around about 45, but they were running a small sale. At that price point, I would say this is a great value for money, as long as you like the original scent profile, if you're looking for a clone, or in general you like vanilla based fragrances. Even at its regular price, is still a good deal, but if you can get it for around about 35 euros, so around about $40, I would say this is a fantastic deal. And versatility wise, this is a masculine fragrance that's so sweet that it feels almost perfectly unisex. Definitely this is better suited for cold weather, and I find this one to be more of a nighttime fragrance. And at the end, a few final words about Afnan's Historic Sahara. As I said in the opening of the video, the last few releases from the brand of Afnan, although were good, weren't like super impressive personally for me. But that has changed with Historic Sahara, because this fragrance is a fantastic clone of Parfum de Marly's Althair. You get super nice quality that I always associate with the brand of Afnan. You get great performance, you get a scent profile that smells very, very similar to the original fragrance. And in fact, as I talk about performance, I think this is slightly better projecting as a fragrance even than the original scent. So all around it has everything going for it, except for one huge thing. And that's the fact that this, I think, comes a little bit late to the markets, because one of those other superb clones of Althair, which comes from the brand of French Avenue, and it's called Liquid Brune, has been around for about a year now. And in fact, a lot of the other major players in the Middle East have already released their clones of Althair. Latafa have done their take last year. Armaf did their take late last year, early this year. Even brands like Al Absar and Hadlash have had their clones of Althair on the markets for a few months at this point in time. Afnan are a little bit late to the game, in my opinion. That's the only main problem with this fragrance. So, just as an advice, if you already own one of the good clones of Althair, like Liquid Brune or let's say Lions Club Monarch from Armaf, I don't think you should bother getting this one unless you are collecting or you really enjoy the original scent profile. But if you don't already own a clone of Althair, if you are still looking for a clone of Althair, then my advice at the current time that I'm testing this one and making this video is that you should narrow your choice down to Liquid Brune, to Historic Sahara or Lions Club Monarch from Armaf. In my opinion, right now, from what I've tried, those are the three best clones of Althair. So in that case, if you're not yet gotten your piece of an Althair clone, then definitely check out Afnan's Historic Sahara. It was a very impressive fragrance for me personally. And so guys, in today's video I reviewed a great new fragrance from the brand of Afnan, which is called Historic Sahara, and this one is a fantastic clone of Parfum de Marly's Althair. I hope that you found today's video interesting or helpful. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me in my next video for your dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.